Hi there, welcome back. So, look at these beautiful moulds made from two different types of silicone, also from our Temu haul. Why not check out our playlist? Go on over, have a look. It wasn't a sponsored video, but we just had a little bit of fun shopping. So we're still going to use the beautiful mica powders that you've probably seen recently in the pots where we had 3 pots with gold foil or foil flakes and also this beautiful mica. So we're going to follow on using exactly the same things, just some different shaped molds. So, you know, bear with us and watch as the process happens. None of this I don't think has been sped up, so it is longer than our usual videos. So make sure you've got yourself, you know, you're relaxed, you've got yourself a nice drink, and just watch us as we create these beautiful shell dishes. So I've made up some Tea Expert resin. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio. It's crystal clear there, looking lovely. And I've decanted some into the mixing pot here, which has got the mica powder in it. Now this has got the, I think it's called ballerina, but it's basically got a pink, white, pearlescent sort of glow to it. Once it's thoroughly mixed in, you'll see. Always make sure that you thoroughly mix your mica powders in, because what you don't want in a finished piece is an obvious clump of unmixed powder in your resin. So there we go, just mixed all that up. Hopefully you can see the beautiful golden sort of pink, warm pink glow there to it. So that's that one. Then we have the copper sheet. Now this is 2 sheets of the copper or rose gold copper mixed in. It just breaks down in the resin. Obviously mix it as much as you want to, add more if you want to, add less if you don't want as much as this in the overall effect. And then again, this is a clear resin with some of that beautiful magical glitter, I'm going to call it, in it. So we're doing exactly the same sort of process as we did with the 3 pots with the lids. If you've not seen that one, why not go on over to our playlist and check it out, go and have a little look. They made some beautiful Art Deco patterned sort of styled pots with lids. And these shells, wow. There we go. So that was literally, we're just doing it almost in layers as much as we can. There we are. These moulds are quite large. They took quite a bit of resin, but they're well worth it. And I hope you'll think the same when you see the finished product. So we're just putting a bit of the clear in there just to get it a bit more added contrast. Look at the way that pink glow is just settled there on the top of that, the middle part of the shell. Look at that. Now at this point, yes, I took a small stir stick and I'm just prodding down into the shape of the mould, because I was concerned that might end up with some air pockets or some little bubbles, and you definitely don't want that, because that would be very difficult to disguise. But if you get anything like that on this, then you could always stick some seed pearls down over it to cover it with use some UV resin and just stick them on and then coat them in a little bit of UV resin around that area. It won't detract from it at all. Something you could also use these for, because these are bowls or dishes, you don't have to use them just as ornaments. You could find little mini succulent plants maybe and pop those in there. That was one suggestion that we saw, and actually I've seen that one done on YouTube or on the internet as a suggestion. In fact, I think it was even suggested on the Temu website where this mould is from. But there we go, there's that one almost up to the top. I did move that to one side to then finish just topping it up slightly. Now this is the gold, so this is the pale gold imitation foil and the golden glow mica powder. Now this is more of a round shaped dish. Apologies, I've got a bit of a busy workstation going on there, as you can see. So yeah, a few things getting into the shot there. So just pouring over the gold flake mixed resin in there. Gonna add a little bit of this lovely clear resin that's got the magic glitter in it. Just helps to push the golden flake resin down into the edges. Then there we go. Look at that beautiful warm golden. It's Aurora Borealis effect. That's the word I'm looking for. That is definitely the word I'm looking for. There we are. And then in with the rest of that lovely gold foil one. Just holding open the sides a bit here, going down with a stir stick, just sort of making sure that it's getting to everywhere it needs to go and that we don't get any little air pockets or bubbles left anywhere. There we are. Of course, you could, once these have cured and you've demoulded, if you want to add in some little seed pearls into the base, you could. If you want to add it to the sides, you could. If you wanted to decorate it up with a few more shells, you could, perhaps. You could also just put shells, miniature shells, in resin and pour those into these moulds. Now, that would look stunning. And in fact, spoiler alert, I do actually do that with another mould, which I didn't show you at the very... I think, did I show you at the beginning? I might have done. Yeah, it was the starfish one, or the star one. So there we go, just pouring the rest of this in. Almost done. So once these were completely full to the top, I did spritz them all very generously with some isopropyl alcohol, just to encourage any surface bubbles to disperse. This is the final shell dish. Now this is the silver, so it's the crystal or pearl white mica powder with the 2 sheets of the silver foil flake. In fact, actually I put 3 sheets in this one because it didn't seem to be enough. So yeah, so I added in another sheet there. So there we go, look at that. Beautiful. And then a little bit of the clear with the magic glitter in it. Looking lovely. I was surprised actually how much this one took in the way of resin. I kept thinking, have I made enough? Have I made enough? Have I not made enough? There we go. And then in with the white. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got every last little bit of the beautiful white resin out. Sorry, excuse me. And then the last of the clear with the magic glitter in. There we are. Here we go. Just making sure I'm using up every last little bit of resin, although we did have resin left over. I completely forgot that I'd still got some unmixed. And yes, ended up making, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 more bangles, or made into 3 more bangle moulds. Whether or not we actually have them as bangles, we'll see. We might actually incorporate them into a macrame pot hanging decoration. I need to persuade Wayne to do a video on how you actually do the macrame for it. He's done 2 or 3, which we have in our house. They look lovely, particularly in a bathroom or in a kitchen or anywhere really, conservatory or garden, sunroom, bedrooms, anywhere really at all. Very much a boho or Scandi sort of chic interior style. There we go. So I did finish up filling up that lovely shell dish, and now this is the starfish one. So this is the resin that I had left, and I thought, I'm going to pour the shells, all these lovely little shells, into it, and then remembered I've actually got something else in with this little pot of shells, which I didn't want to go in. So just separated them out. Look at those lovely shells. So some of them are probably a bit bigger than what I would have used, but they were what we had to hand already. So just popping them all in. So I decided to put them into the resin here, then realised, Laurie, you're not going to have enough. You're just not going to have enough. You're going to have enough shells, but you're not going to have enough resin. So I did also then make some more resin up. But for this, to start with, oh, and yes, we have this lovely, lovely, lovely turtle embellishment that I'm going to put there. Now, just going to coat these shells in the little bit of resin that I've got in there. This just helps to stop any air bubbles from getting trapped. There we go. And I'm also going to add in some of the magic glitter. hopefully it won't make it white, and it will just make it, just give it a little bit of sparkle. So there we go. Now this resin at this point as well had been made and was getting a little bit on the thick side. So I knew I didn't have much time left to work to use it. So then immediately started trying to pour it into this lovely mould. Oh, sorry, not a very good shot there. Apologies for that. I was so worried that it was going to cure and go solid in this mixing cup rather than in the mould. Sort of, yes, heart racing at this point a little bit. Am I going to get it all in time or not? But this was very much off the cuff. Let's just get on, let's do this. It happens to be to hand. Look at all those lovely shells. So we've got a little bit of resin in there with the shells, and we're just going to carefully push them down where we want them to go. There we are, just down into the sides. As again, I think some of them were probably a little bit on the large side to do this with, but I just thought, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Let's try it. The only thing I did realise, and in fact Wayne told me about it when I was demoulding this particular piece, is that I've actually put the beautiful gold turtle outline, I've put it in upside down. But never mind. We live and learn. We live and learn. So, yes. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't detract from it. It still looks beautiful. And it's a bit of a contrast compared to the other 3 shell moulds that we've done in this video. If you're still with us, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed and you've just found us randomly on YouTube, why not subscribe to our channel? It's free, it doesn't cost us a thing. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and then YouTube will recommend our videos more to people to watch. We do resin projects, primarily do projects made using resin in some form or another. Sometimes we do use other mediums. Sometimes we do acrylic painting or paint pouring. Sometimes we do decoupage. We've got lots of videos in our playlist, so why not go and check some of those out. So this is me placing that beautiful golden turtle in and not thinking, Laura, you've got it round the wrong way. And at this point I had then made up some more resin. It's from T-Expert again. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio. It is our favourite brand to use for resin projects. It's a bit thicker than some resins, but that's not a problem for us at all. Now, I decided as well at this point, do you know what? Trying to tie it in with the other dishes that we made, the other beautiful moulds that we've filled with resin. So I'm going to put a sheet of the beautiful pale gold flake in and then just mix it up, and then we're going to pour it in. So there we go, we're just pouring it in now. Now it's going to it's going to travel to all the spaces where it needs to go, hopefully not introducing too much air, just helping it down there. I got a little bit messy, unfortunately. I also gave it a bit of a squidge just to try and disperse any air that might be trapped. Unfortunately, in doing so, I made the area rather messy. So there was a bit of a clean-up operation after they had completely cured, but nice, clean and tidy works area surface now. So that one had just slipped out, just pushing that shell back down. I could have added more shells, but I really think this was probably enough. So again, had some resin left over, so decided to make up. I actually had enough to make another couple of angles, which we will show you shortly. So yeah, just finishing off this starfish dish. And again, you don't have to do what we've done. This is only as an idea for you. You could use an opaque coloured pigment to add to your resin. I have to say, I think the shells in the shell moulds, the big ones, in more what I would call earth tones, terracottas, blues, maybe some olive greens, I think those would look lovely. I really do think they would look lovely. Also think that would look lovely if you use that sort of colour palette for the 3 pots that we did in our previous video to this, which I think I've probably already mentioned, but why not check them out on our playlist. They would look lovely. Absolutely lovely. If you wanted to have a complete set to follow through, I mean, you could do it in any colour combination that you wanted. Any colour combination at all. So then this is about 18 hours later, because you know us, we're impatient. Can't wait a whole day. So starting to try and demould, and yeah, first time demoulding using this mould. So it was a bit sort of, am I gonna, which way is it, how is it gonna be easy to do? Which way do I do it? Also have very sore hands currently. Trying to pretend that the hands aren't hurting doing this, but unfortunately they were a bit. There we go. Just stretching the mould out a little bit to try and make it a little bit easier to demould. So just looking, loosened it all, and then trying to make a decision as to which bit to try and take first. And there we go. We have a winner. Excuse me, clearing my throat again. Sorry, I've probably said already, I still have tail end of the flu sort of cold that I had. Still affecting my voice slightly, but should be back to full fighting fitness soon. There we go. So just trying to demould this without ripping and tearing at the mould. Yeah. There we go. Make a decision, Laura. Stick to it. There we go. There we are. So you can see, just where I'm demoulding there is quite a lot of detail. So, I mean, you don't have to do what we've done. You could just do clear resin, actually crystal clear resin, whether you leave it colourless or whether you use maybe some ink, some alcohol ink to dye it and have it completely crystal clear. Those would look beautiful too. Absolutely beautiful. Now, as I said, you don't have to use these as dishes to put things in, you know, trinket bits and so on, or you can have them as display pieces, as, you know, accessories for your home. You could put them in your bathroom. To be honest, you could put them anywhere in your house and they would look beautiful. But you could, if you are green-fingered person and good with houseplants and things, you could get the miniature succulent plants or little mini cactuses and actually plant them up in these dishes, these bowls. They would look beautiful. But look at this. This is the detail on this mould. And I was so pleased that we didn't end up with any little air pockets and things, because it would have ruined it. But yeah, I absolutely adore this. Absolutely adore it. It's gorgeous. So that's that beautiful one. Now here's the golden one. So this is the pale gold flake and the golden glow mica powder. And this is more of a bowl shape. Beautiful. Like a giant, yeah, like a giant clam almost. I think it's a clam. Look at this. I mean, this was much, much easier to demould. Much, much easier. There we are. Almost ready there. Look at the work. Look at the shape of that. I must admit the camera angle here isn't the greatest for showing you just the beauty of this dish, but it's stunning with a capital S. Look at that with the gold flake, foil flake, and that beautiful golden glow to the mica powder. Look at the shape, look at the scallop edging and the way it turns up with the ribbing part as well. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Would be lovely as centerpieces on a table. Absolutely beautiful with candles, with other decorations with it. Also quite good for brides, for you know, wedding receptions and things like that. You know, what you can adapt these sorts of things to suit whatever interior design or decor you'd like. And this is the last one of the shells. And this is the rose gold or copper flake with the beautiful, I think it is called ballet pink glow. I'm not sure. There we go. Look at that. Again, you get sneak peeks of exactly the sort of detailing on this mould. Now, round the bottom, we will just go around there either with an emery board or a nail file and just take off that sharp edge. So we'll either use an emery board or nail file of some very, very fine grade sandpaper, or just with a deburring tool. Now look at that. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. I love it. I love the detail. It's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. And the way it picks it up with the mica powders and you've got that beautiful rose gold flake. Sort of mother of pearl look to it. Very gorgeous. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So this is our little one that we did at the end, our little starfish shaped trinket dish. With the bits and bobs in it and the shells and the sort of like, let's see how this works. Let's have a go. Let's do this completely off the cuff, spare of the moment, see if it works. There we go. Now, this was very easy to demould. I know I'm making it look a little bit like it was difficult, but I promise it wasn't. This was just because my hands were hurting. What I haven't said is can you imagine doing these, all four of these moulds with the metallic powders? Dusting the whole of the mould with the metallic powder. Oh, goodness me. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning with a capital S. Now, I quite like this dish. It's cute. It's really, really cute. We will just go around a few little edges with the deburring tool just to make sure that it's not too sharp. And here we go. Look at those shells. Look at that. So yes, probably could have done with a few more shells, but you know, they went in, they travelled to wherever they wanted to travel, but I still think that looks gorgeous. And yes, sorry, the little golden turtle is wrong way round, but you know, it's fine. I do like the slightly mottled glass effect as well on the outside of that dish. Absolutely beautiful. Now these are what we made with what we've ended up to be quite a bit of leftover resin. So yeah, I am eventually going to be able to demould this. Had quite a bit of overspill there on the top, and we thought we'd leave these in or show you this because, you know, sometimes when you've got leftover resin, it can be, well, what do I use it with? And we found that we were making a lot of miniature skull heads. Yeah, and we now have more than enough of those. So what we're doing is we're making these bangles, and they're not necessarily going to be bangles to wear as jewellery, although there's nothing stopping you from doing that. Got a bit of clean up to do on the other side, which we will do once they've cured completely, and we'll use a deburring tool. Or if we don't use these as bangles, they'll be made into something else. And what I'm leaning more towards at the moment is the macrame pot hangers. Hopefully you've seen some of those. Wayne has made a few for our house and they look stunning. So I'm trying to persuade him to do a video on how you make them. Now, on this one, there's a lot of overspill there. So I will just take my little scissors I've got to that whilst it's still soft enough to do so and trim it up. And then once they've completely cured, so in another day's time, go around it with a deburring tool, just making sure that, you know, it's as nice and trim as it needs to be. So here we are. This is the smallest one. So if they don't get made, if they're not used as bangles and they're not made into the macrame pot hanging displays, then I might actually use them to make in some statement pieces for jewellery, perhaps. We'll see. But yeah, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of tidy up that I need to do on these before they will be ready for the next process. But here we go. This is the final shots now. This is the pale gold with the golden glow mica. Look at that. Beautiful. So we are just showing these individually and then all together at the end. And then this is beautiful crystal or pearl white mica with the silver foil. Silver foil not showing up quite as much in this one. And then this beautiful pink golden glow mica and the copper or rose gold flake. Absolutely beautiful. Here are the 3 bangles that we made as well. Just a little shot there of those. And here we are, the final one. All of the shell pots or moulds or bowls together. All looking absolutely beautiful. And there we go. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing. And we'll see you again shortly.